Hello there, I'm the thenthapple, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of Point Lookout. Okay, not all of it, because I don't have time to do all that in one video, but one very crucial story, or, well, maybe not crucial, but interesting story within Point Lookout. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a wee gander at what the background of Point Lookout is. We're going to get that from Tobar, the ferryman in this boat that I don't even know how it functions in this massively radioactive water filled with octo sharks and shit. But yeah, somehow he's still doing business, but I'm sure he's quite the businessman. So let's go find a little bit about Point Lookout from him. Yes.
You should have seen her back in her heyday. Why, we traveled up and down the coast from the Commonwealth to the Broken Banks. Good times, but these days she's not fit to take out to the coast. Too many spouts ready to drown her and too many critters looking for lunch. But the Point Lookout run is good enough for now. We've got a sweet deal ferrying cargo and the occasional traveler. Down south, this side of the bay, there's a soggy strand of beach called Point Lookout. Oh, it's got it all. Ruins of ancient pleasure towns, mysterious swamps bristling with treasure, and all practically untouched by outsiders. But if you're curious, I could offer you a ride over to that faraway land. For a nominal fee, of course.
His nominal fee's frankly a fucking rip-off. It's about 400 caps and you have to buy a ticket. You can steal one off him if you want to, but to be honest, I'd just buy the ticket, okay? We're not crooks, okay? We're honest folk in these videos, alright? So now we're waiting the wee cot, and then we're here. Point Lookout. The dreariest fucking place in the wasteland. Place that happiness used to breed in, but is now the home of the shiftiest critters and mutated hillbillies, and to be honest, it's all very Deliverance, but thank Christ it doesn't happen to us. So, we're going to be taking a look at the story of a certain Chinese individual, and we start here, at the Navy office. First off, we're going to bully some rad roaches with our technological superiority because, well, because we can. After that, we're going to take a look at this place. So as you can see, someone's died here, and there's a bloody handprint, so they clearly were clutching their gun when they died, but right now we don't know how they died. Clearly wasn't the blast radius because, well, nobody else's. The buildings are more or less intact. But it's still quite interesting, and the guns that you can find here, such as the double barrel shotgun, are very useful. So inside this safe here, you can get a lot of caps, you can get a couple of weapons, sort of stuff to bolster you for what's going to be quite an expedition in Point Lookout, because this place is very dangerous. Next we'll take a look at the wee terminal. So first of all is the Yang capture. So they captured someone called Yang, and since the United States and the Chinese were at war, clearly it's a spy. So an intelligence field agent operating within America and Canada over the past decade, Yang has been transferred to Turtle Cove detention camp, which will come in handy later. So this woman has been captured and she's been transported. So person of interest. So Wan Yang, suspected communist and Chinese sympathizers, been reported in the vicinity of Point Lookout. Agent Yang may be operating under an alias. One of those aliases is Stanley Derrick, or Five Clawed Dragon. Maria Lopez? What the fuck? That's a weird one. So as you can see, it's a woman. At least I'm pretty sure it is. I could be wrong. I've mistaken sexual identity before. So now we're gonna go and take a look at this motel over to the north here of where I'm standing, or essentially straight ahead. So you're gonna go in. You're going to find this Cretan dead. You're going to find lots of evidence that they're Chinese. You can find a hat inside here, even though I removed it, and also a key. And then this terminal over here, which has many interesting things, such as this. So first of all, Dr. Chiang. This is the other Chinese operative. So he faked defecting from the Chinese military to become American, and he's trying to, he's got a mission, okay? And he's defected, or claims he has, to the Americans, in order to actually achieve that mission. So he has to get to a terminal to actually get the information he needs to get his mission. So he has to go to a locker now. Okay. Now this locker can be found at the beachfront here, and even though I've already removed it, it'll say you can use the key you got from the trunk. So you're going to use the key on this locker, and you're going to get a wee holotape out of it, and then we're going to go to the bank. Now this bank, it has very unique security, and as you can see is in more or less a pretty good state, even though it does look pretty mold ridden. But once again, a lot of dead people, and we don't know why, but that's for another time. So let's take a look at this terminal. So we can see the security updates. They've introduced a new type of security, which is voice recognition, and considering it doesn't even fucking work today, we can imagine there's going to be plenty of bugs with it. Okay, this isn't a Siri, even though Siri never fucking works. Anyway, so all the tellers are reminded to be on lookout for any customers trying to transfer Chinese yuan notes. So they're looking, they know someone's here. They're waiting for a Chinese spy. You think that they're a spy, they know not to use yuan notes. So now they're saying that the voice activation is not working, and they're going to need somebody else's voice log in order to try to break the code. And we can go that way, usually, if we weren't doing this mission, but we've got a code that we can use this time. And all we have to do is play it by this little machine up here. And it's in there, that's the unlock safe, so let's hear the note, shall we?
Go to the bank and use the password Xin Tian Weng. The software is configured to recognize only our voices.
And now let's hear what that actually says.
Agent Zhang, as you know, an important Chinese surveillance vessel was lost in American waters. Your mission is to destroy derelict submarine SSN-37-1A before the Americans can recover and analyze it. The recovery location is included in this dossier, and your cover ensures that the Americans will allow you access to their recovery operation. However, you will need an authorization code to trigger the self-destruct sequence. One of our field operatives in your area, Agent Yang, has these codes hidden in a dental capsule, but her current whereabouts are unknown. Locate and rendezvous with Agent Yang, then destroy the submarine. Report to your safe house for extraction information when the mission is complete. The will of the people protect you, Agent Yang.
So that was the mission. He has to destroy a submarine when we don't know where that submarine is just yet. And now the Velvet Curtain questline, which we started earlier, must be undertaken. And we're going all the way to the north part of the swamp. So I recommend you be kitted out the fuck, because you're going to meet a lot of very high-tech security here, and a lot of ghouls and a lot of hillbillies along the way. But we're hardened cunts, we'll be fine. So there's going to be a lot of Mark 7 turrets, going to be a lot of Protectrons and Securitrons. So I hope you're ready for this, and let's see what happened to the woman. So, now that we're in here, there's a couple of things. You can look around, you can see that it's more or less in the state you'd expect an office to be. There's this shittily hidden safe and a fucking transparent photo frame. And now we can see some other things. So they've got a spy, a new person of interest, Dr. Cheng. So intelligence contact for some months prior, he's reportedly brokered an immunity deal. So they know he's here, and they suspect him being a Chinese national defector, and he's faking. But they're not allowed to go for his room, they're not allowed to get a warrant. They just have to monitor him. Okay, because he's brokered immunity. So interrogation. So John Doe, the submariner from the submarine, obviously. So, session interrogation room, he survived. Fortitude, low 11 rank. He had very good fortitude. And if his molar hadn't been removed, they think he wouldn't have broken. He hasn't broken yet, and they said they've requested interrogation B method. But we can assume that's going to be pretty radical, so he probably did break. So then Wan Yang has succumbed under method D, probably the highest form, and is stored in a locker in the morgue, where we're going to have to go and get her body out of, unfortunately. So now we can see some of the other terminal entries. The camp operation reports. So escape route patrols. So suspicious activity after lights out yesterday. Prisoners apparently snuck into the morgue. Now we don't know why, and it's never really explained. There is a escape hatch which they may have used to try escape, but how they ever got into the morgue in the first place is very odd. So they're going to try to keep a low profile, and they've said they want to catch them in the act. Did they? Who knows? That's not what we're researching here. So Wan Yang. We've already read that before. This is the bulletin of her capture. The public release, the photo file, and the intelligence she gave. So, Mayagara Sabotage, the company. Okay, a very small company. Intelligence reports in Maryland, demonstrated remarkable resistance to interrogation, but yielded to this, and told them this, but it's classified and we can't find out, but we can assume it will be related to the submarine found at the depths of, well, not the depths, but sort of shored along the coast of Point Lookout. And that's actually it. That's all the information we can find. The safe has some goods which we can use, but not really a lot, to be honest. Okay, some money, some Confederate hats, nothing very interesting. Interesting to note, we can find some people who look like they overdosed in Psycho here, and we can assume these were the guards, so they must have been in some type of pain or suffering if they decided just to die by overdosing on drugs, but we just don't know. So we can now go into the morgue, and I want to warn you, there are several ghouls down here, so you're going to want to actually take care of them before, or you can try sneak past them, but that's not my style. So then we can go and we can get her body and get the tooth off her, and this window will pop up. I find it weird for a couple of reasons, okay. One, the code's stored in tooth, that's kind of retarded that the Chinese government wouldn't have it. Two, there are two other bodies in here, but they don't have anything valuable, and we can assume that this place was only for interrogating Chinese people, because they would be coming into the coast and trying to sneak in, so agents and the like. Also, that these shelves don't make any noise at all, which I find very unnerving indeed. But anyway, so after that, we're going to have to go all the way here to the sub-recovery site, and it's located in the middle of the fucking ocean. Hello, thenthapple here, coming from the middle of the ocean, and yeah, it's here. Yeah. So we can somehow we know how to operate a sub and get into it. So as you can see, even though it's sort of fucked up, it's in actually better state than a lot of other vaults that have been flooded. So clearly the engineering behind this was very up to scratch. Okay. There's blood everywhere, there's stuff spilled, there's radioactive goop. But oddly enough, there is no body, so we can assume that was the John Doe they recovered from the submarine, who they then interrogated. They probably recovered him under probably quite duress, probably threatening him at gunpoint, maybe even harming him. Probably the gun he was disarmed from. So now we can actually trigger the self-destruct sequence on this boat, and we can also see a couple of other things as well. So the mission parameters. So it's all classified stuff. Since the vessel order patrol hostile waters, variations from patrol are tolerated as required by evasion circumstances, and they're being ordered not to engage, okay? Not to engage. You can initiate the self-destruct, and then you should probably assure the self-destruct as I show you here, because you can then go to the back of the submarine and hit the switch, which is sort of awkwardly placed that sometimes you'll click and eat the goo, and sometimes you'll hit the switch. So then you confirm the self-destruct protocol. And then you do what every sensible individual does when they're in an exploding sub. You get the fuck out of the exploding sub by swimming away. Alright, come on. I've got a mean backstroke. We can get away from this. Come on. Come on, boy. Here we go. Here we go. Yo! Yo! We did that. We blew that up. Yo! Yo, fuck you. And, yeah. Then we can actually go back and see... It's just gone. It's just that Fallout thing where you destroy anything in game, it just removes it completely. As like a landmark. So yeah, that's kind of shit, unfortunately. I don't really like that. So yeah, after that we can then return to here, and then we can get some information on our extraction details. And this also gives us a bit of information about the Chinese satellite array as well, because this information was beamed down, as you can see, by the extraction details they received from the sub once it exploded. So that means that their satellites are still working, and you would have thought all the damage and fallout and debris in the air left over from all the nuclear explosions would have blocked out any chance of that, but somehow not. So then there's a bunker hidden. We have to get the cryptochromatic spectacles to wear them, and then use them and bring them to the Calvert Mansion and get to the safe house. And then once there, we'll get extracted. Now, obviously, whoever's there is long dead. Okay, so we're going to use the code to get in. Serve from descending once we get inside to disable the security, and then we're going to find the individual who's waiting to greet us there. Let's go. So it's right here in the Calvert Mansion, and it's these 4 pots, sorry. The 4 pots represent the code that we're going to have to use to actually break it. Okay, the 8-digit code, as you can see here, maybe 7, I can't really count. It's 1, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2. And that will open this little panel here, and we can enter the intelligence bunker. So, this robot's then going to come up and talk to us and tell us some very interesting things. And don't shoot it, okay? Let the robot speak.
This is a hazardous.
Sir, I'm descending is the code that will allow us to get entry.
Acknowledged. Follow me for your extraction. Debriefing, comrade.
There's a lot of ammunition and weapons here, and we're going to loot all that anyway. But first, let's go get our instruction. I'm sure we're going to get a just reward. Okay, so we're going to walk in here. There's a suspicious vent on the ground. There's stuff here. There's a very unique gun in the corner. And yeah, let's go see what our reward is. You have done well to get this far, but go fuck yourself. We don't care. Die with honor, you dickhead. So yeah, surprise, surprise, the Chinese betrayed one of their spies. Oh no. So, at this point you've got about, two options here, okay? Okay. So, the first option is using these circuit boards and with 71 science override them. The irradiation, however, will keep being pumped out. The second option is using Fallout 3's shit jumping mechanics to navigate your way out, using this hole up here, that God knows why they actually put this here. Once you do exit, you'll find this individual who was probably soaked in radiation, hence the mushrooms that managed to escape as well. Possibly another agent, we don't know. The quest is then completed, you follow the tunnel to the end, and you're then brought outside. And that is the legend of the submarine! So yes, that's the legend of the submarine, and the Chinese and everything that happened in Point Lookout here to do with them. Agents that had been tasked with destroying the submarine, that had suffered torture, their molars having shit shoved in them, and then we had to finish it, we had to destroy it, even though there's no real use now. And we also learned that the satellite arrays for the Chinese are still working, clearly because, you know, that terminal received the information after it got verified by the orbital satellites. And what do we get out of this? Well, we got a lot of gear out of it. We got these awesome fucking spectacles. Look at me, I look awesome. I look cool, I look dapper, one could say. And we also learned just how ruthless the Chinese were. They would kill one of their own for being loyal to them. Okay, and that's sort of part of the whole propaganda that was always painted about the Chinese back then, or the Russians when we had the war with them, the Cold War. So yeah, just part of one bit of intrigue from Point Lookout. There will be more. I'm going to do more on Point Lookout. It's very big. I didn't have time to cover it all in one episode. That would take a very long time to make. So yes, this is the first episode. If I missed anything, it will be covered in another one. So I hope you did enjoy this episode. If you have any feedback that isn't related to telling me, oh, you missed this in Point Lookout, please leave in the comment section below. Otherwise, kindly keep it to yourself. And I hope I will see you in the next episode. And goodbye. This is the end of the episode. You reached it. Here, have a metaphysical high five. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave some feedback in the comment section below. If you have any suggestions for future content, I would love to hear them. Or just to hear you talking to me in general, because it's pretty good crack. If you want to talk to me on a more regular and or personal and or quicker level, follow me on Twitter at thenthapple. If you want to get regular updates to my content, subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, why not give it a like? And if you want to let other people see it and help me grow, I always appreciate shares, because sharing is caring. And as always, I hope I will see you in my next episode. And goodbye.